So good morning, everyone. Glad to see you. Glad to be back. It was a terrific business exchange. I would say it was a brilliant success for the things that we laid out that we wanted to accomplish. And I think this particular business exchange, as compared to some other business trips that I've taken, has not only reinforced, but I think absolutely, completely confirmed a couple facts. One, there is a tremendous amount of interest in the city of Philadelphia by international business people and their governments as well. Two, that unfortunately the city of Philadelphia, not as well known as we would like it to be, and I think that as a result of this particular business exchange, many more people in both the UK and Israel, London and Tel Aviv, Jerusalem and Bethlehem, know a great deal more about the city of Philadelphia, what we have to offer, strategic location, a lot of significant number of businesses from both countries located in Philadelphia, but also a significant number of companies and businesses that have an interest in the United States of America, in North America, and now increasingly the city of Philadelphia. We met with government leaders, business leaders in both countries, ambassadors from the United States to both the UK and Israel, mayors in Israel, and leading government officials in London as well. We also were very, very fortunate to have a number of Philadelphia business people join the first portion of the UK trip, and then a couple of those folks came with us to Israel, and an additional 8 to 10 or so business people came directly from Philadelphia just for the Israel portion of the business exchange. All had opportunities to meet with many of the same folks that I met with, and then went on to have their own business meetings and relationship building. We were fortunate to have someone like Beth Cohen from Greenberg Traurig help us, former president, of course, of the Israeli American Chamber of Commerce, as well as Robin Schatz, who is in a leadership position at the Jewish Federation here in Philadelphia. And so both of them helped us a great deal in terms of setting up meetings, conferences, and relationship building. The city of Philadelphia, at the same time, I believe over time, as we get our message out, as I said last year at the Greater Philadelphia Chamber of Commerce meeting, that Philadelphia is a great international city, will continue to be a great international city, but we must also promote this city, like many other cities and states, promote themselves here in the United States and around the world. And so, we're Philadelphia. We're the fifth largest city in the United States of America. We are not Mayberry RFD. People want to know about this city. They have a great interest in colleges and universities, in healthcare and medicine, student exchange, the fact that 300,000 young people get an education in our region, 101 colleges and universities, 5 medical schools, 1 out of every 5 doctors in the United States of America gets training in Philadelphia at some point in his or her career. The announcement just last night in Jerusalem with Mayor Barkat announcing the Drexel Chop Hebrew University partnership will pay big dividends in both cities, in both countries, and we expect, as a result of this business exchange, as well as others in the future, that Philadelphia will continue to benefit from raising the profile of our city, our region, and our state. Pennsylvania's #1 trading partner is the UK, and when you look at the number of businesses that turned out for a reception, about 250 businesses and individuals came to a reception for our delegation of business people, myself and other city leaders. I can tell you that the interest is strong in those two countries. When you talk with people like President Shimon Peres, when you talk to the Prime Minister Netanyahu, they all are quite aware of what's going on in Philadelphia. Of course, Prime Minister Netanyahu went to school in Cheltenham, knows Philadelphia very well, and I had an opportunity to talk with him for a few minutes. He was very interested in what's going on in the city. Both leaders thanked me for the very strong support that the City of Philadelphia in particular has given to the State of Israel, and different comments and support positions that I've articulated over the years. Everywhere we went, whether it was the ambassador in the UK or Tony Blair, all commended the City of Philadelphia for doing what we're doing, which is getting our message out, telling our story, letting people know what this great city has to offer. And so this was a very successful business exchange. We expect that we will continue this activity, and coming into next year as a result of a meeting at Batango, which is the leading venture capital firm in Israel, headed by Kemi Perez. It was at his suggestion that next year we expect to host probably a 2-day symposium for Israeli venture capital firms and other companies to come to Philadelphia to meet with their counterparts in the venture capital area, in the business environment, in the university environment, to see how their businesses in Israel may be able to expand and capture a U.S. or North American location with a particular focus in Philadelphia, as well as, again, the opportunity for venture capital firms and other businesses here to invest in companies in Israel. So I am tremendously optimistic. I'm very appreciative of the team that we had, and the great work that was done to put together 50 meetings and other engagements over about a 10-day period of time, going to the UK first and Israel second. So we arrived very early this morning on, of course, the direct flight on US Airways from Tel Aviv to Philadelphia. The US Airways folks on the plane and in the airport tell me that that flight is always packed, and folks are very excited about being able to fly directly into Philadelphia. They enjoy our airport more than some others. So we have a lot to offer. We have a lot of work to do and a lot of follow-up, and the team is already working on those details as we speak. So with that, I'll be glad to try to answer any questions that you might have on the 10-day business exchange.
Mayor, what's the status of the consulate in Philadelphia from Israel?
The status is that I believe last night the Prime Minister was being sworn in. I'm sorry, the Foreign Minister was being sworn in to his post. He had been in the post. Obviously, there were some issues not too long ago. Apparently, they were resolved, and it was my understanding that he was being sworn into his post last night. I had a private discussion with our prior Consul General, Danny Kuttner, and President Shimon Peres last night to speak directly with President Perez about the issue of the consular office in Philadelphia. He understood the message that I was delivering, that I'm absolutely 1,000% opposed to the closure of that office. He recognized the importance of that office and said he would do all that he could in communicating with the Foreign Minister about the importance of the Philadelphia office. I also talked to someone in the Foreign Ministry office who assured me that this issue will be at the top of the list for the Foreign Minister as he comes back into his office.
Mayor, are you fearful at all that some companies or even tourists may have a perception that Philadelphia is this crime-ridden, tumultuous place, and that may be keeping them from coming here? And what are you doing to kind of combat that perception that may be out there?
Well, I give them the facts, and it would be helpful, actually, if all of you here were reporting the same facts. Crime is actually down significantly in Philadelphia this year in 2013, not only as compared to last year, but as compared to even 5 years ago. And so I think that getting the news out, getting our message out, and when I shared that kind of information, they were not only appreciative, but again, may not have known some of those facts. What people know is that Philadelphia is a great old American international city. What they know is that this is the birthplace of freedom, liberty, and democracy. They may not have known that we have so many colleges and universities. They may not have known that we have so much young talent and talent that can lead companies or talent that wants to invest in companies. And so I think that, and I've said this for years, not just based on your comment here, I think we have to get more used to being on the international stage and the national stage. We have to be a little more positive about ourselves. I've never seen press reports, as I sometimes see here in Philadelphia, for other cities, even in the United States. When I pick up the local newspaper, folks are positive about their city. They have pride in their city, and they're not trying to run it down every other day. And so I think that if we just deal with the facts, what happens in big American cities, you have your challenges, you have your opportunities, but there are many positive things going on in Philadelphia. And I think if we got more comfortable with positive news, more people would know many good things about this city and would want to come here. Anything else?
Well, I'll ask you about this. There was this interview that was done over there with a BBC reporter where she seemed to really press you about this idea.
Zainab?
Yes, Zainab, about not only crime, but also some comments that you had made in the past about black men. And do you think any of those comments may have broke the perception that, people have about the city? Or maybe
Well, I think I'll go
hurt
back to what I
tourists
said.
from-
I was speaking factually. That was, as you well know, over 2 years ago. We had some serious challenges and issues. I spoke to them very directly. And quite frankly, we haven't had any of those kinds of incidents since then. Zainab she's a highly respected journalist. It's hard talk. I know what the BBC network is about. I've seen her work, and I think that she asked the questions that needed to be asked, and quite honestly, I gave the answers that needed to be given. It was a fair and even exchange, but I think she was very, very clear that these were 2 years ago comments and issues that were facing the city at that time. As a leader of the city, I'm not going to walk away from tough issues or bad issues and not address them as I do each and every day. So, I think that the more we get our message out, the more we talk to people about the great things that are going on in this city. Every big city in the United States of America has challenges and problems and issues that it needs to grapple with. I think at times we overemphasize the negative here and often ignore or overlook the many positive things going on. I understand this is not hunky-dory every day, but it's not doom and gloom either. There are a lot of positive things happening in Philly. The world is getting to know that. We should proclaim it, we should be proud of it, and let people see it for themselves. That's what it's about. Anything else? Bye-bye.